Don't do it to him.
Yeah. All of my knees, they roll you.
Oh man, it's the chronic. Don't even worry about it.
Roll you. All of my knees, they roll you. All of my knees, they low you. We ain't the same, we ain't normal. Wait, adore you. Baby girl, I adore you. Pretty face and she loyal. So to fix your crown, girl, you roll you. Wait, roll you. All of my knees, they roll you. All of my knees, they loyal. We ain't the same, we ain't normal. Wait, adore you. Baby girl, I adore you. Pretty face and she loyal. So to fix your crown, girl, you roll you. Wait. I just had to catch my breath. I just had to stack my checks. Shorty got ass, God bless. Damn. I just had to stack my chips. I just had to grab my grip. A lot of niggas mad I'm rich. I'ma have to smash they bitch. Pull up in a maxed out fit. VLN on the logo, moving solo with the stick. Block jumping like a pogo, come and pull up on the strip. Told her pull up and get lit, so she pulled up and she stripped. Damn. I don't need all the attention, I just need all of the pension. Ran the bill up like a piston. Wait, told them but they didn't listen. Fuck it, I teach them a lesson. I ain't got time for the stressing. Damn dog, is you kidding me? You know that we aborigines. I don't give a fuck if you feeling me, as long as you watch how you grilling me. My knee G's making history. Brother, some diamonds at Tiffany's. She a carbon queen and she feeling me, so you know she matching my energy. Roll you. All of my knees, they roll you. All of my knees, they loyal you. We ain't the same, we ain't normal. Wait, adore you. Baby girl, I adore you. Pretty face and she loyal. So to fix your crown, girl, you roll you. Wait, roll you. All of my knees, they roll you. All of my knees, they loyal. We ain't the same, we ain't normal. Wait, adore you. Baby girl, I adore you. Pretty face and she loyal. So to fix your crown, girl, you roll you. Wait, so to fix your crown, girl, you roll you. You ain't got time for the low vibes, but you know I'm feeling your vibe. You a black woman, you go God. You could trust me, girl, I promise. My only choice, to be honest. I feel like it's perfect timing. When we hit your party, we getting it lit. Hit it YBs if I need me a fit. He got the sauce, yeah, he got the drip. We gon' keep grinding until we get rich. Smoking exotic, I need me a zip. My aborigines be with the shit. Rushing your shit and I call it a blitz. We tryna find us some money to split. Can't break bread, then you fake then. Free all my guys out the state pen. Her only wet, yeah, it's leaking. She say she want me to eat it. Had to ice her out, now she blinging. Dying for what I believe.
People not only have to be re-educated to the importance of supporting black business, but the black man himself has to be made aware of the importance of going into business. And once you and I go into business, we own and operate at least the businesses in our community. What we will be doing is developing a situation wherein we will actually be able to create employment for the people in the community. And once you can create some employment in the community where you live, it will eliminate the necessity of you and me having to act ignorantly and disgracefully, boycotting and picketing some cracker someplace else, trying to beg him for a job.
Black on everything, nigga.
Drop bricks, Tulsa.
Kingsley. It's a brand, you know. Black on everything, take a glance, you know. You can see it on my shirt, on my pants, you know. Had to make these motherfuckers understand, you know. I'm just saying it's about time we expand, you know. Take a stand, you know. Make demands, you know. Take a chance, you know. Black on everything by the fam, you know. I put that on everything that I am, you know.
You know the saying, if you knew better, you'll do better. A lot of people ain't make it from where we came from, where it's too clever. Youngin' learned how to plant down on his own seeds, not a fruit better. Translation, you can only dumb your sound down if you let them do better. I'm the product of my poverty. Mama never owned property. The eviction notice landlord's game, that's the first form of monopoly. Found out I was indigenous to America, was a shock to me. Time to get my aboriginal Americans out of poverty. Time to get it for real. Yup, We ain't gon' play no games with them. Linked up with some real hitters, that's where I'm from with the same vision. Tulsa, okay, Greenwood, we gon' make it happen again. Aboriginal Wall Street for my ancestors, we gon' make amends.
It's a brand, you know, black on everything, take a glance, you know. You can see it on my shirt, on my pants, you know. Had to make these motherfuckers understand, you know. I'm just saying it's about time we expand, you know. Take a stand, you know. Make a man, you know. Take a chance, you know. Black owned everything by the fam, you know. I put that on everything that I am, you know. I done built your walls, I done paid your fines, I done made you rich while I'm barely getting by. I done slaved away at your heart's desires, had to take it all away for a piece of mind. Taking back my cream and my dreams, Carbon King, fuck you mean. Hidden agendas that you never seen, like one of the fuckers of COVID-19. Make us sick, then force vaccines, but we not trying to take no strains. Boost up black man self-esteem, no they not trying to see that scene. Cops blaming at us again, no more shaking hands. Black man with a master plan, they fear who I am. Trying to hide my identity, but I know where I stand. Grinding for me and the fam, reborn and do it again. It's a brand, you know, black on everything, take a glance, you know. You can see it on my shirt, on my pants, you know. Had to make these motherfuckers understand, you know. I'm just saying it's about time we expand, you know. Black on everything, take a glance, you know. You can see it on my shirt, on my pants, you know. Had to make these motherfuckers understand, you know. I'm saying it's about time we expand, you know. Take a stand, you know. Make demands, you know. Take a chance, you know. Black on everything for the fam, you know. I put that on everything that I am, you know. Take a stand, you know. Make amends, you know. Take a chance, you know. Fuck it, expand, you know. Black on everything for the fam, you know. I put that on everything that I am, you know.
Our hearts forever. Rest in peace, Dick Rowland. Rest in peace, Jimmy, Lily Franklin. And all the survivors. Shout out to all our ancestors, man. We coming back for everything that they stole. Let's get it.
So our people not only have to be re-educated to the importance.
All right. Shout out to all the American Aborigines. The Chief is in the building. Aboriginal TV is in the building. Geechee God is in the building. Got 16 people in here. Appreciate if y'all would hit that like button, share the video out for me one time. It's been a while since I did a nice little crypto build. Let's see if we can get one shaking today. So y'all can see what the title says. Why are governments creating cryptocurrencies if they are a scam? Heard a lot of people have a lot of things to say about Web3, digital asset technology, and all of the things that's associated with that. So I just wanted to do my due diligence, you know, to shed light and bring forth some information about the topic, about the subject matter. So let's start from the top. Let's see.
This is an order that is essentially a starting place for the US government in terms of how it's going to approach cryptocurrency on a macro level, and not just a one-off case, and not just one agency's approach. You know, the order itself does not really implement something particularly new that is going to happen, and that you know, people need to do right away. Design, you know, that crypto is here to stay, that regulations, you know, will be coming. There are a lot of requirements in this order for the various departments in the U.S. government to report back, and Just given the breadth of this order, I would bet that we're going to see more orders in the future with particular guidance. The US dollar is obviously the preferred method of exchange throughout the world. That our economy would consider also adding a digital dollar, I think, is a huge endorsement to the technology, to the ability of blockchain, which has so many, and so it's perhaps the most significant part of this order. When the President of the United States is issuing a detailed executive order about cryptocurrency, I think that is a moment that the community celebrates. That cryptocurrency is mainstream. It's here to stay.
Before Jobber, it was late nights in the office, sales, and immediately, as soon as we started using Jobber, all of that.
The Federal Reserve is considering a digital dollar. The implications for privacy and freedom are frightening. Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insight to navigate these turbulent times. Central banks around the world are examining we should create digital currencies. Already, to launch a digital by 2026. India is moving ahead in this front. The Federal Reserve bandwagon here, where experiments and studies are already underway. These moves to what is dubbed a central bank digital currency, CBDC, may sound like making sure financial institutions are keeping up to date and ensuring currency stability amid cryptos that are crashing in value, along with the sensational multi-billion-dollar collapse of FTX. Now, advocates say CBDCs will help central banks better fight inflation because they'll have more direct control over the money supply. That it will transact between buyers and sellers in the marketplace, where settlements, most particularly if they cross borders, can take days for players. It will also help fight money laundering and keep rogue nations from evading sanctions. But central bank digital money is ominous. The downside of governments being able to track every single product or service you buy and sell is chilling. This is headed. India has been trying to reassure skeptics by declaring that transactions would stay, quote, largely anonymous, end quote. But government bureaucracies won't be able to resist the temptation. They'll always have excuses like fighting crime, combating tax cheating. CBDCs would give officials a powerful tool of control and manipulation. It would be an irresistible drug for central banks trying to direct the economy. If they think the economy is overheating, they could freeze a certain percentage of your cash. Or if these poobahs decide that things are too slow, they conclude are saving too much. Spend it or lose it, they could decree. If you have undesirable political views, you might not be able to access your money, since traditional cash would be outlawed and your digital cash would be in a government-approved digital wallet. Digital cash would be governments to fine-tune monetary policy with individualized interest rates. Then there's digital cash systems would be a hacker's delight. The treasure trove of data government have on every aspect of your life would be. As for speeding up payments, that can be achieved with improved electronic transfers. The Federal Reserve already has an experiment with that underway called FedNow. Congress should immediately hold hearings on the subject of central bank digital cash and ban Fed from creating a digital dollar. Government digital cash. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments.
It's something very disingenuous about a government who's seeking to regulate a particular, let's just say, sector, right? They come in to regulate it and basically making up laws as they go, implicating different people who are already in the space. right? Already different technologies and programs they are basically extorting them out of existence so that they can create their own fucking token. That sound like some United States government shit right there. That's some United States government shit if I ain't never heard. You know what? We found that y'all are doing some shit that we don't approve of y'all doing. Y'all didn't get clearance to be able to send or utilize funds and assets without the approval of the United States government. That is basically what the government is saying. Y'all did not y'all didn't run it by us. And since y'all didn't run it by us, now we're gonna dismantle the whole shit and then we gonna run this shit. They've done this with several different sectors in society already. I think marijuana being the last one, right? So right now, what we seeing is the collapse of several different cryptocurrency companies. It's damn near impossible to even have a cryptocurrency company in the United States because the policymakers have made it damn near illegal to hold certain tokens. Now the question is, if crypto is so dangerous and it's so fucking bad, then why are the governments rushing to create their own fucking tokens for you to utilize? You gotta ask yourself that question. Is it that Web3 and crypto in itself is inherently evil or bad? Or is it that the government just don't want your ass to be doing the shit? It doesn't want the regular citizen or consumer to have access to digital assets that could mature in rates unseen and unheard of. You'll be able to attain different levels of profit margins that the stock market could only dream of. See, the stock market probably was like this at one point or another, right? And then the regulators came in and regulated the shit to right now you gotta wait 5, 10, 15, 20 years for a fucking stock to mature. And you might make 10, 15, 20 grand off the shit when it does. That's where they like you at, right there. Where you can only make a certain amount of money in a certain amount of time, and they can track you and they can quantify and qualify everybody's movements. Hold on one second. So we know that about a year and a half ago, Biden did the executive order regulating cryptos, right? All right. So check this out. We're going to get into this. Operation Choke Point 2.0. Let's see. As soon as I get it up, gang, I'll share it over. Let's see. Whoa. All right. See what they talking about here.
Of USDC went up nearly $600 million, looks like $590 million on my screen. Now, before I speak to Nick, a quick word from our sponsor about the show. This episode of Real Vision Crypto Daily Briefing is sponsored by the Crypto app. The Crypto app delivers everything with their regulator. Quote, in addition The company is evaluating the impact that these subsequent events have on its ability as a going concern for the 12 months following the issuance of its financial statements. The company is currently in the process of reevaluating its business and strategies in light of the business and regulatory challenges it currently faces. It says its capital continues to shrink, and it expects potential investigations by U.S. banking regulators, Congress, and the Department of Justice. CoinDesk lists Paxos, Galaxy, and Coinbase among the companies who announced they've cut ties with Silvergate just here in the last 20. Nick coming out as describing Operation 2.0 is in effect. I want to read this quote as well. This is from your Twitter feed, I believe February 7th. Quote, "I don't want to alarm, but since the turn of the year, a new Operation Choke Point type operation began targeting the crypto space in a well-coordinated effort to marginalize the industry and cut off its connectivity to the banking system, and it's working." Nick, let's tee this up for you. Please explain what Operation Choke Point 2.0.
Real quick, y'all gotta understand what game that's being played right now. Most of the people you love, care about, and think matter, they just pawns on the fucking table. Like, you think because you don't fuck with crypto, you somehow safe? You think because you don't fuck with the information or like that you don't pay attention to something, you think it's gonna make you immune to it? Whether you want to acknowledge it or not, this is what's going down. And in sectors where you niggas wish you could be in, the financial sectors, having certain control of like just being privy and aware of what's taking place, this is what's going down. When you come out with new innovative technology, or if you create something that could benefit all of mankind, you're gonna have mankind, aka the government, come and try to regulate the shit out of it and control and take what you created and make it what they want it to be, not what you intended it to be. But let's hear about Operation Choke Point 2.0.
Is in your view, and what makes the situation from Silvergate part of that thesis?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to take credit for making a call on Silvergate specifically, because they were already significantly impaired when I wrote that tweet and the blog post that came out a couple days later. They had already suffered, I believe, 70% drawdown in their deposits, and we're already facing investigation regarding their relationship with FTX Alameda. Subsequent events, of course, really made things much more challenging for them, but it was known at the time that Silvergate was in dire straits. Now, of course, really, really difficult situation for them. So Choke Point 2.0, as I branded it, is a resumption of efforts that, it's obviously a callback to Choke Point 1.0, which was an attempt to ring fence certain politically disfavored industries in the sort of 2013 through 17 era. And
Obviously,
that was
during the Obama administration.
That's right. And that was done basically through informal pressure applied by the DOJ and FDIC against banks and payment processors, asking them to basically cut off connectivity, banking support for certain industries that were considered scammy or just insalubrious for some reason. So payday loans were actually one of the main targets, but it really broadened once the administration realized they had these tools into going after adult entertainment businesses, gun manufacturers, ammo manufacturers, all sorts of stuff. And then that basically ended in 2017. But so the reason I said that we're experiencing Choke Point 2.0 is it does seem similar to what's happening now, especially since the turn of the year, where bank regulators are applying coordinated pressure against banks that service the crypto industry. And they're not directly illegalizing or criminalizing bank support for crypto businesses, but they're making it very difficult. It's it's not an outright ban, but effectively the messaging is, if you're a bank and you're servicing crypto clients, we're going to make your life really difficult. We're we're gonna bury you in mountains of paperwork. We'll potentially investigate you. And the consequence of all that is that banks are limiting their crypto practice. They're limiting their ability of their clients to engage in their normal business activity. They're passing through a lot of these disclosure requests to the clients, making their lives difficult. And certain banks are turning away from crypto entirely. So there isn't a major bank that touches crypto in this country that hasn't been affected by this. Silvergate, as sort of the marquee dedicated pro crypto bank, is by far the most affected. But most of these other banks have curtailed their crypto practice as well. The consequence of all that is that for startups, it's going to be harder to get banked. Not impossible, but much harder. It ratifies the position of the incumbents that have easy access to banking and represent valued clients to these banks, but it makes life much more difficult for any newer firms, especially firms that are exchanges or that are processing user deposits, withdrawals, firms that touch crypto directly. So it's really a troubling development, and we're seeing it play out in real time here.
Talking of
a house. Well, definitely not the house, because it not only costs millions to buy, but
talking of playing out in real time, I just want to quote you directly from this post that you wrote on February 8th, by the way, which shows that you were thinking about and how you've been framing this mentally in terms of your quote, one guys on the screen. What began as a trickle of the U.S. government is using the banking sector to organize a sophisticated, widespread crackdown against the crypto industry, and the administration's efforts are no secret. They're expressed plainly in memos, regulatory guidance, and blog posts. However, the breadth of this plan, spanning virtually every financial regulator, as well as its highly coordinated nature, has even the most steely-eyed crypto veterans nervous that crypto business might end up being completely unbanked. Stablecoins may be stranded and unable to manage flows in and out of crypto, and exchanges might be shut off from the banking system entirely. That's from the very beginning. That's the thesis. I want to show one other tweet on screen, and I want to read this as well, because here you make kind of the laundry list of the mechanisms the actual mechanisms by which government, in your view, has begun this crackdown. Quote, this is quote 2. In sum, banks taking deposits from crypto clients, including stablecoins, engaging in crypto custody, or seeking to hold crypto as a principal, have faced nothing short of an onslaught from regulators in recent weeks. Time and again, using the expression, quote, safety and soundness, close quote, they've made it clear that for a bank, touching public blockchains in any way is considered unacceptably risky. While neither the Fed, FDIC, OCC, that's the Office of Comptroller of the Currency, nor the NEC, National Economic Council, is a statement a few weeks later explicitly banning banks from servicing crypto clients, the writing is on the wall, and the investigations into Silvergate, again, this is on February 8th, are a strong deterrent to any bank considering aligning itself with crypto. What is clear now is that issuing stablecoins or transacting on public blockchains where they could circulate freely like cash is highly discouraged or effectively prohibited. It is equally evident that a bank issued fiat token would only be acceptable to regulators if it were domiciled on a surveilled private blockchain. No, quote, unhosted wallet allowed, close quote. And perhaps more damagingly, the Fed's devastating denial of Wyoming SPDI Bank Custodia, as well as their policy statement, effectively ends any hopes that a state-chartered crypto bank might get access to the Federal Reserve System without submitting to FDIC oversight. Nick, that really is the sort of laundry list of all the things that you see happening in the space. Again, quite prescient, written on February 8th, before this latest round of hardship that we've seen from Silvergate. Explain to us the significance of that charge sheet.
Yeah, I mean, it's really broad, and this is why I expressed my opinion that it's coordinated coordinated. In fact, since I wrote that, a few folks that were ex-financial regulators reached out to me and said, yes, we believe this is coordinated as well. It's not happenstance. It's not happening on a spontaneous basis by all these regulators, because it spans the whole administration. It spans the White House, National Economic Council, the numerous bank regulators, FDIC, OCC, and the DOJ, and frankly, the SEC. And, so that was the point I was trying to make, is this isn't just a normal course of business. This is a dedicated, coordinated attempt to ring fence the crypto industry. The premise, the sort of charitable interpretation, is that crypto is too risky to have this kind of connectivity to the fiat banking system, and that it would introduce systemic risks. So that's sort of the justification. I don't think that's necessarily true, right? Crypto underwent a massive collapse in 2022. The entire crypto credit ecosystem blew up, and the contagion to the actual banking sector was very minimal. It looks like the worst of it is the Silvergate potentially failing as a bank, but that doesn't have any systemic effects on the sort of quote unquote real economy. So I don't believe the stated justifications from the administration. It really appears that it's a coordinated attempt to marginalize crypto without legislation, right? And so that's another point I make in the piece, is Congress is not going to be able to do much here. They're pretty hamstrung.
So let me break down some of this, crypto talk in layman's terms, right? The fucking United States government is regulating crypto under the implications that it's protecting the American people. The government is protecting you from crypto, guys. Okay? Whilst making crypto tokens. Just let that sink in. The government said, you guys don't need to have these tokens. Okay? It's too risky for the consumer to be having this token. You know what I'm saying? God damn it. Now all of a sudden, guess what, y'all? We coming out with a token. Welcome to the United States government. Welcome. Hold on real quick. Let me see if I can do something for BAP real quick. And we'll come right back.
They say the harder you grind, the longer you shine. But it ain't gonna come easy, it happen all over time. If you ain't in your zone, then you falling behind. So until the day I'm gone, I put it all on the line. They say the harder you grind, the longer you shine. But it ain't gonna come easy, it happen all over time. If you ain't in your zone, then you falling behind. So until the day I'm gone, I put it all on the line. Put it all on the line. I'm trying to get it, you can see it in my eyes. A young king reaching for the skies, but I never surrender. I'm trying to live before I see the other side. Just cause you breathing don't mean that you alive. Cause I seen people die, I seen people live, I seen people lose all of their time doing bits. I watch niggas spend all of their time in the crib, getting drunk or getting high because they blinded by fear. And everybody say they grinding, but who grinding for real? Cause when a nigga make it out, ain't nobody gon' chill. And when you're back against the wall, they be doubting you still. But fuck them all, it's my purpose that I gotta fulfill. I'm here to do the impossible, push through all the obstacles. The sky's the limit, nigga, it ain't nothing stopping you. If you won't be a champion, then don't do it for the rings. Just stay down and believe, it ain't nothing more important than your dreams. Cause real kings got their family living large, and he living out his dreams, so he finally quit his job. His pockets debt free, so he finally get the ball. If his homie get locked, then he got him with the bomb. It's time to learn the ins and outs to the game, to leave a legacy way more than a house and some chains. So when you go, then you'll know you won't be buried in shame, because you left something to carry your name. They say the harder you grind, the longer you shine, but it ain't gonna come easy, it happen all over time. If you ain't in your zone, then you falling behind. So until the day I'm gone, I put it all on the line. They say the harder you grind, the longer you shine, but it ain't gonna come easy, it happen all over time. If you ain't in your zone, then you falling behind. So until the day I'm gone, I put it all on the line. Put it all on the line. Find your purpose. What is your life purpose? Is you working on your life or spending your life working? It's time to roll the dice, but niggas is quite nervous. Scared money, never been the type to make the right purchase. Gotta take a risk. You can't be scared to take a hit. When you make different decisions, you gon' see a major shift. Knowledge and wisdom classifies a man to be great. He do what he can to keep his family straight. But through it all, just make sure you keep your sanity straight. And don't contribute to the factors that could damage your race. Cause everybody want the power till they snatch it away. Going through hell when that cell door slam in your face and you get them years and your homies disappear. You don't wanna end up here. So avoid that situation and just keep your vision clear. Live with a purpose and stay away from the circus. And it ain't no easy routes, you just gotta put the work and get right. I'm here to give you advice. Try to get up out that darkness, learn to live in your light. But it ain't gonna be easy, you gotta put up a fight. Just take flight and reach higher, let your fire ignite. It's about that time. Get that doubt about your mind, don't be scared of the change. But what it's worth, if it hurts, you gotta cherish the pain. Cause when it's all said and done, you won't perish in flames, because you left something to carry your name. They say the harder you grind, the longer you shine. But it ain't gonna come easy, it happen all over time. If you ain't in your zone, then you falling behind. So until the day I'm gone, I put it all on the line. They say the harder you grind, the longer you shine. But it ain't gonna come easy, it happen all over time. If you ain't in your zone, then you falling behind. So until the day I'm gone, I put it all on the line. Put it all on the line.
All right. Mic check, mic check. I was trying to do the redirect about show today. For some reason, like ever since they took my channel, man, like shit just is like I don't have access to do shit like I used to. I just don't have it. I don't know what the hell. But like I was saying, so it was okay for. It's not okay for you to have crypto. It's too dangerous for you, but it's okay for the governments to use it for you. Let's just make this shit make sense for a second, family. Like, let's put on your thinking caps here, okay? This was something that you could use before that the government didn't seem to give a fuck about, right? And people was using it for whatever reasons. And so some people got rich, some people got broke, you know what I'm saying? That's how markets go, right? But they're giving off the implications that crypto is somehow more dangerous than the stock market, which we've known people have motherfucking jumped off the top of the buildings fucking with that stock market, right? We already know that. They give off the implications that crypto is somehow more dangerous than the dollar, even though we've already had historical events take place where banking and the banking system, when actually pressure put on for it to do what it's supposed to do, ultimately it crashed. So I just find it a little disingenuous that all the government entities find that this sector is just too dangerous for the American people, right? But it ain't too dangerous for they ass to be making it for you. Give me one. All right. So as soon as we can see if we can get the StreamYard up, let me maybe take some shit down. It may be having a problem. I know how, and I mean, if y'all could see how close I was to this router, man, you wouldn't fix your lips to potentially say anything about something I'm doing. I'm telling you, it's that good old shit yard. That good old shit yard work for you every time. Hold on, man. All right, gang. Let me smoke this blunt. Motherfucking relax myself. I'm over here trying to figure out what things I can do to improve the show. The shit yard always fucking shit up. Let's see what this dude got to say.
What yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're afraid of losing their manufacturing. Decent cities have their own economies, by the full faith and credit of the United States. So they are truly up network effect economies, and they are equalizing in a sense geopolitically, and that's why you see that some of the countries that are on the fringes of our system have loans from the IMF that are in danger of default, like El Salvador, are increasingly looking at cryptocurrencies as a way around that kind of yoke of dollar colonialism, which has been tethering them for decades. I'm talking about Latin America in this case. So, it's not surprising to see the powers that be a little jittery about this new technology, but as the benefits become clear and financial inclusion increases, the ship has sailed on that front. So to answer your specific question, I think the Fed is in listening mode. They haven't said much, and yes, are going to.
You want to know a telltale sign of a corrupt ass organization? They don't even care whether it help people or benefit. They just want to know if it benefits them. Once you can, if you can prove the way it'll benefit the Fed, they'll approve the shit. They don't matter if it saves humanity. It don't matter. Like, what kills me about these so-called legislators, I've yet to see them do one fucking thing for the people. It seems like everything they do is for their interests, and their own personal interests or the interests of their donors.
Are going to wait and see what's out. But the rest of the world is not waiting on the Fed. The rest of the world is seeing value in a second source of monetary sovereignty, really, that disintermediates the Fed, and we'll see how that shakes out. Really, that disintermediates the Fed. Of monetary sovereignty, really, that disintermediates the Fed, and monetary. The world is seeing value in a second source of monetary sovereignty, really, that disintermediates.
Just think about what he just said right there. It sounded like he didn't say shit, but he said a lot. He said the world is not waiting on the Fed to figure out if they want to fuck with crypto or Web3 technology. They already moving forward with the shit. You know what I'm saying? And they see it as a way of what? Can you break that down one more time for me, sir?
Monetary sovereignty, really, that disintermediates the Fed, and
by being able to utilize another form of or financial instrument, something that holds value, a medium of exchange, you gain a certain level of sovereignty. Who would have thunk it that you could gain sovereignty through damn crypto? It's amazing how other countries, whole governments, with all the smart people they got in their country, they have concluded that it would be best for them and their people to use crypto. But yet your government, the people who be supposed to be working in your best interest, said, no, crypto's too dangerous for you guys. And then proceeds to create a crypto for you guys to use.
We'll see how that shakes out.
Is not talking about cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. They're going exactly the opposite direction. But we're talking about a digital yuan. And this is where the central bank really realizing that the currency gives central bank and gives the government much more control over transactions, much more control over the use of money, and being able to do transactions and so on in a much better way. And this is why China is pushing and truly leading the website is somewhere behind, and the US here is totally lagging because we're just beginning to talk now about the possibility of doing this in the future. It's just kind of talks about digital currency, which is kind of interesting.
All right, so it says it's not surprising that the powers at be are a bit jittery around the new digital asset technology. Why would they be jittery though? Why would it be jittery for a new era of technology to come into existence? And why would the power at B be worried about that? One would think the power at B has something to do with it already, right? It says, as the benefits of new technologies become clear and financial inclusion increases, the ship will have sailed for the Federal Reserve to get fully on board with the new frontier of investing and consumerism. The Federal Reserve is afraid of losing its monopoly over the manufacturing of money. See, if you think crypto is a scam, then you probably then got hit with the propaganda that the United States government wanted you to get hit with. I'm just saying. It says the federal government is afraid of losing its monopoly over the manufacturing of money. These are decentralized communities that have their own economies, denominated in money that is not backed by the full faith of credit of the United States. So are they truly bottoms-up networks affect economies? They are equalizing in a great sense geopolitically, which is why you see that some of the countries that are on the fringes of our financial system, hold on, see if I can get this, they always hate it, who have loans from the IMF in danger of default, like El Salvador, are increasingly looking at cryptocurrencies as a way around the yoke of the dollar's colonialism that has been tethering them for decades. He says the feds are in listening mode, which is what we just listened to, right? The central bank and the governments are realizing digital currency gives them more control over transactions and the use of money, and makes it easier to be able to identify illicit transactions in a much better way. So this how dumb the government is and the people who running it. They so dumb, they fighting the shit that could ultimately help them garner more control. Or is it that this system is a system that really can't be controlled? I think the people who kind of started setting this system up, they knew one day that regulators would come. People would come looking to get paid. So by keeping things decentralized, it kept a lot of people safe for a long time, up until now. Now with the collapse of FTX and other exchanges, other scandals that have been, taking place in the space, crypto kind of got a bad name right now. It's amazing. It's kind of like convenient, right? It was soaring into all-time highs, and then out of nowhere, poof, the bottom just fell out. And then here comes government regulation. Ain't that about something? It's almost like somebody was telling us a year and some change ago, like, you might want to hurry up and get to learning and understand the importance of crypto and digital assets and all of these things, because here shortly, you're not going to be able to do what the fuck you're able to do right now, because the government, they're coming. I I distinctly remember somebody saying that shit. And lo and behold, we are in the reality, in the dawn of regulations. Well, now you can't even fucking you gotta get you buy Bitcoin or motherfucking Cash App, nigga, you're getting a W-2. Anything you do, we taxing it. The government looking to come tax. Even if they can't even prove that you necessarily made gains or not. I don't even think they care about that. I think they trying to tax you in the door and coming out the door. When you go in the door, they gonna hit you. And when you go out the door, they gonna hit you. And they gonna hit the companies like that. Every transaction. In the door, out the door. They getting paid. If a nickel bag is sold in the park, they want in.
Bruh, bruh, bruh.
So right now, while y'all just sitting there, living y'all life and having a good time, your whole financial system is changing over in front of your eyes. And they got you niggas focused on everything else except that. This is why China is pushing so aggressively and truly leading the world in that way. Europe is somewhere behind, and the US is somewhat lagging because we are just beginning to talk now about doing it in the future in terms of digital currency. So this is where the US government has inhibited their citizens and the potential for their citizens to use this new technology to pioneer a new frontier. Because of their dinosaur-like tactics and shit and their monopoly, they didn't want no new shit coming. They don't want us to hear about none of that, right? Until it's so big that you can't unsee it. Now it's so big you can't unsee it. Well, our good government, what is their game plan usually? Crash the shit and then regulate. Crash and regulate. That's why as the market about a year ago had seen gains never before seen. Like we saw gains never before seen about 18 months ago. In the last 2 years, we saw investments that you could only dream. I'm talking about investment opportunities you could only fathom. Where even $1 invested at the right time could have turned into $1 million. Right? Where was the people at? Where were the people at when generational wealth was changing hands? Do anybody remember? Let's do a little. I know Bat about to go live, about to do his debate. So we're gonna get out of here. I'll be putting together more of these builds in the future. I got a meeting to go to anyway. But let me just see something real quick. Let me see something real quick. Just for kicks before we get out of here. Let's see if we would have invested $1,000 a certain amount of time ago. Where would we be sitting right now? Let me see if I can get logged in real quick before we get out of here. Make sure you go check out YK versus BAP. That should be starting right now in a little second. Damn, hold on, gang. This good old goddamn StreamYard got shit lagging as usual. Let me see. Nah, it's free. It's free, gang. It's free. For free. I just got the notification for it. Wait a minute. Yeah, make sure y'all go. I think it's on BAP channel. Yeah, I think it's on BAP channel, gang. I may have to I might have to just call it quits now. Cause I didn't think to log into what I needed in order to show y'all some shit. But if you are interested, you can come to the Telegram. I might be over there. I don't know. I might go check out. I might just ride it out and watch BAP shit. And, go into the meeting. Call it a quit, man. Yeah, because my shit is moving. Alright, gang. I guess that's all I got for y'all today. I'll see y'all in the AM most likely. Make sure y'all bang that like button on the way out of here. I said we on our way to Aboriginal Powers channel. I'll see y'all on the next run. Peace.